Hey, what's happening, people? Gotta let it breathe. You think we're gonna miss an episode? I mean, come on now. We don't roll like that. You know this. A little late, but let's see. Welcome in, everybody. It's the Mile High Huddle podcast on Thanksgiving. Here I am. I don't think Zach's gonna be able to make it tonight, but it's your boy Chad Jensen here. And we got a lot to be thankful for today, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, obviously the Denver Broncos sitting at 9-2, that in and of itself is enough to be grateful for. But the nice little cherry on top here today is, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs falling to the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving. They dropped to 6-6 on the season, do the Chiefs. And they're pretty much done, guys. Stick a fork in them. I mean, never say never and all that stuff, right? But 6-6, and then they got to take on the Texans. You couldn't beat the freaking Cowboys, and you're going to go beat the Texans? I don't think so. So, hey, it's a good day to be a Broncos fan, even though the Broncos aren't playing. Hello's in store. What's up, guys? David Youngkin, a dear member. I told you guys Cowboys were winning. Good for you, bro. Good for you, and good for the Cowboys. Good for the Broncos. B-Rad, what's going on? Yeah, let's freaking go. KC lost. I know, right? Sentinel Supreme. Happy Turkey Day, Chad, and the MHH fam. What a lovely day seeing KC at 6-6. I know, right? Thank you, Sentinel. Pearl, good to see you. We got Big Earn. The Chiefs lost, but lest you think he cares about anything else, Broncos country only. We know this, Big Earn. Heck yeah, I think we were all rooting for the Cowboys. Pearl, that was sweet. B-Rad, thanks for the super, bro. KC defense looks bad. Patty cakes through 4 TDs and they still lost. Trash. Yeah. They're just not the same. I mean, today is, of course, Thanksgiving. Flying Anger Pig, a dear member. I'm so happy. Happy Thanksgiving. PS2 is back. Yeah, so I spent most of the day, of course, with family. And, people are like, wait a minute. My family is very supportive, but they don't really understand how the work gets done. They don't really understand how the sausage gets made. My 92-year-old grandma, my Nana, she's like, but we're sitting there watching Cowboys and Chiefs, and she knows I got to stream around 6. She's like, now, you're not talking about Broncos tonight, right? Because they didn't play. And it's like, no, Nana, every day's Bronco day, 365. But it's a great day, Anger Pig. Papa Bear, great to see you. There he is. Good evening, Broncos country. 13-4 plus. God bless the USA. How about them Cowboys? Thank you, bro. Good to see you, pal. Thanks for supporting and checking in here with me on Thanksgiving. We'll go through a few things. PS2 returned fully to practice today. We're going to talk about that. I mean, he was limited yesterday, full participant today. And then I just didn't want the week to go by without a proper head-to-head. So we're going to get to that. Tucson Phil, happy Thanksgiving. Chad, turkey's a lot better with the Chiefs going down. Buck 'em. I know, right? It was very sweet. I figured that the Cowboys would find a way to choke in that last 4 minutes, but credit to them. They pulled it out. Pearl, yep, happy Thanksgiving. State of being indeed, brother, and I know where you're at. And you proved every day, Broncos country, not a geographic location. It's a state of being, baby. Ronk's in the house. Good to see you. He says, good evening, chat on the MHH podcast on Thanksgiving. Go Bo Broncos. Yes, sir. So the good news, guys, today, aside from, of course, the Chiefs going down, of course, we're monitoring the injury report. And yesterday it was good to see PS2 on the practice report for the first time since he suffered his pectoral strain against the Cowboys. But he was limited yesterday. Today, however, everybody, so he turned full. Alex Singleton's been full both days. Jonah Ellis, the rush linebacker, still limited. And then Nate Adkins has been a DNP, did not participate both days. He's probably not going to play this week. But Surtain's back. Singleton's back. And that's a huge boost to this defense. And I almost feel sorry for the Commanders because it's not looking good. Jaden Daniels still limited today. And the last reporting on that I saw that was credible was doubtful. Not, I mean, there's no official pronouncement yet, right? The whole labeling aspect of it will be tomorrow after practice, but it's not looking good for Jane Daniels. So the Broncos get, in all likelihood, Marcus Mariota. And so when we go through the head-to-head here in a few minutes, the cool thing about it is we're going to be like most of the data is Marcus Mariota data, right? He's played basically the majority of their season. So it'll be an accurate representation of what we're going to see Sunday night. Taylor Christensen, what's up, big dog? Happy Thanksgiving right back at you to one of our dear members and superstars. Says happy Thanksgiving and glad the Chiefs lost. MHH for life. 6-6, you guys. 6-6. They won all those one-score games last year. It was uncanny. This year they can't win one to save their lives. Literally. Season on the line. I mean, they couldn't afford to lose to Denver, but they did. They got back on the horse last week, won a tough one. And then today you can't afford to lose to the freaking Cowboys. I mean, we saw what the Cowboys are, guys, in week 8. Terrible defense, an offense that's pretty good unless you pop them in the mouth, and then they kind of clam up, right? So it's kind of a surprise to me that the Chiefs lost, but I guess it's even further emblematic of just the strange turn that their 2025 season has taken. And I don't think anybody in this room shedding any tears over it, that's for sure. Patrick McCracken, good to see you on Facebook. Sean Eichenbaum, good to see you. Daniel Berry, happy Thanksgiving. Good to see you. 6763 Mark, welcome. Thanks for being with us tonight. Yeah, so good stuff, you guys. And by the way, the Bengals and Ravens just kicked, and I hope you guys got your Underdog stuff set because it's the best place to get in on all the action now that football is really heating up. The stretch runs are coming, and you want to get off the bench and into the game. So download the Underdog app. And guys, whether it's football, basketball, hockey, any sport in between, Underdog is the best place to get in on all that action all season long. And it's simple. You pick a player, their stats, are they going to go higher? Are they going to go lower? Things like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, etc. You just pick higher or lower, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. So it's a lot of fun playing on Underdog Trust. I mean, it's fun enough just watching the games and rooting for your teams, or even today we had rooting interest, right, in the game that was going on between the Cowboys and the Chiefs, and it makes it even more fun when you've got a few selections in on Underdog. So download the Underdog app today. Sign up with our promo code MHuddle to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code MHuddle. And guys, millions of fans have won billions on Underdog. You got to ask yourself, will you be next? If I can find now my little autoplay thing, I don't want to have to read the deal. It's tough to read the deal. Where is it? Why is it gone? There it is.
18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
All right, back to the chat. Let's see, Tucson Phil, how long is Adkins and Ellis out for? Well, there's still a chance. There's still a slim chance Ellis might return this week, but he's limited. Tomorrow will tell the tale, depending on how they classify him. Fridays are always a glorified walkthrough, but nevertheless, if he's limited in practice, he'll probably be questionable. Wouldn't surprise me if they keep him out one more game. But then again, he's been out for a while, and it's like, well, if he's going to miss that much time, why didn't you just put him on IR? So Adkins, I think he misses probably one more game, and it's the same type of deal. If he misses any more than this week, then shame on the Broncos because they should have put him on IR. So we'll see, my brother. Kelberman is tied up with fam. You know how it goes, my brother. You know how it goes. Camden, Dude, great to see one of our dear members, Superstar, checking in. Thank you for the super chat on a Thanksgiving like this, helping us really keep the lights on. What's up, everyone? Happy Thanksgiving. Glad the Chiefs lost, and just wondering if there's any update on PS2 and Singleton. Well, yeah, PS2 and Singleton are fully returned to practice. They're going to be playing on Sunday night. Now, it has not been announced yet that they're playing, but when Singleton starts the week as a full participant, follows that up today with full participation. PS2 started limited, but as I mentioned earlier, he was a full participant today. So the signs point to a full return. They're back. They're back. And it's a miracle, especially in the case of Singleton, because we all know what he went through beyond football, right? Like a life, what you would call a serious health scare with the testicular cancer. And it's kind of crazy that when he takes the field on Sunday night, it will be 18 days, I want to say, since he underwent that surgery to remove the tumor. So, man, it's going to be nice to see him out on the grass and just symbolizing what that means for him. So, and of course, it's really a help for the Broncos. Say what you will about Singleton. He seemed a little bit slow and out of it to start the season as he was kind of coming back from that ACL, but he's really come on strong, and he's a team captain. He's the green dot guy. I think he's probably the defense is better when he's out there. So it'll be good. And then, of course, PS2, man, take a little bit of the pressure, pop that balloon that's been following Riley Moss around, who's had to be the number one for the last 3 weeks. And he did, honestly, Riley Moss did a phenomenal job as the team's de facto number one. But those 3 penalties against the Chiefs in their last game, man, brutal. He went 2 games without a penalty. And then, boom, those chickens came home to roost with gusto. 2 massive PIs, and then the defensive holding that wiped Jade Barron's pick 6 off the board. So anyway, but I'm just happy PS2 is returning. This defense, as ferocious as it is, we're about to get into the head-to-head here in a second, as you'll see. As ferocious as this defense is, it's about to get even more fierce. So really cool stuff. String guy, Raj, I sleep a lot right now because of my gallbladder condition. Fell asleep during the second half of the fourth quarter, only to wake up to a Chiefs loss. Perfect dessert after a great Thanksgiving dinner. Well, buddy, I hope you're feeling better. And that's tough that you're going through that during the holiday season, my brother. You've got our support and our prayers and all those good vibes. I hope you know that. Let's see. We got Kelly Boy O'Brien. We got to eat turkey, watch the Cowboys stuff the Chiefs with all the fixings today. Yeah, dude, it's a good holiday. They're pretty much done. String guy says, I am on the mend. We'll find out tomorrow when to do the surgery. Sooner the better. I hate having the tube. Man, I can't imagine. I've known a couple of people who have close to me in my life that have had that surgery to remove it. I assume that's what it's going to be, but maybe it's to fix something, but usually it's something wrong with the gallbladder. They just remove it. It's no fun, buddy. So our thoughts and prayers are with you. That's really, really, really tough. But yeah, Pearl, we're going to get to the head-to-head. Hang tight here. I'm just seeing if I want to say a few more hellos. Mark Kennedy, good to see you on Facebook, pal. Yeah, Mr. Kelberman, he's sometimes, we can swing it to where we're both available on holidays. Sometimes one of us might not be, but the other one is. And in this instance, I don't think Zach's in a situation where he's going to be able to make it. So it's all right. We're having fun. We'll get her done. Yeah, totally Sentinel. Next week, we're all Houston fans. Mahomes may get knocked out of that game. Yeah, that defense, man. It just makes, even without CJ Stroud for most of that game, it just makes Denver's win over the Texans that much more impressive, if you ask me. I mean, that defense is legit. I mean, it's the Broncos and the Texans. Those are the 2 defenses, and the top 2 anyway. Ronk, Vance Joseph said he put the head coaching job on hold and focused on Broncos. If a head coach comes open or not, he's okay with it. Well, yeah, of course he's going to say that right now. Nobody's getting contacted. They can't, right? No one's in the running yet. That's all going to start in January. And if the Broncos go deep into the playoffs like we're hoping and expecting, I mean, even if, guys, let's say it all goes their way, and they get the 1 seed and they get the first round bye, And just as an example, I'm touching wood as I say this, they get the bye, maybe they get bounced right away. Let's just, for the sake of the point here, even that, by the time you get to the divisional round of the playoffs, you're halfway through January. That's the soonest that he could start, getting a job or getting hired on anywhere. Some teams will wait for the right guy. Most teams, I think, will wait for the right guy. But if the Broncos go deeper and deeper, it's all the more promising for the possibility that he sticks around. So we shall see. We shall see. Camden, I wonder if Marcus Mariota scrambles will hurt the Broncos pass rush. He has underrated speed. Well, it's definitely a threat, but the Broncos have gone against quite a few mobile scrambler types, and they've really perfected what Vance Joseph calls the cage rush, which is you put a little spy out there and you rush in a way that it does create the pressure, but it keeps them in a cage. They can't just leak out or turn a corner and go up the field easily. So we'll see. I'm not too worried about it, to be frank with you. Phil, it'll be great if Dobbins makes it back for the playoffs. So that's when the Broncos put him on IR, that was all the reporting was that he's definitely done for the season, but there's a chance he could come back for the playoffs. And then we heard another report. I think it was either Fowler or Pelissero that said, no, the soonest would be the Super Bowl. If they make it all the way to the Super Bowl, J.K. Dobbins could perhaps return for that. Well, fast forward to yesterday, and Sean Payton, I'll tell you exactly what he said on the Dobbins front. It was right toward the tail end of his time at the podium because it was the first time, by the way, that he addressed the Drew Sanders situation, because we all kind of hoped we'd see him on the practice report yesterday coming out of the bye, but they haven't started his clock. So he addressed Drew Sanders, and then at the tail end of his comment on Sanders, he said, I don't know what game he'll be back for sure, but honestly, the same could be said for Dobbins, which got a lot of people's hopes up. And then the follow-up question is, well, is there, coach, a chance Dobbins could return this season? And he said, yes, it wouldn't be soon, but that has a chance to happen. So it's possible, guys. It's possible. Maybe even before. I'm not getting my hopes up, and I would definitely not suggest you guys get your hopes up, but there is a chance, guys, Dobbins could return. So before the season's out, but hopefully playoffs. Like if they do win the 1 seed division round, by the time you get to that point, you're talking 2 months of real time. I would think, depending on the severity of the injury, that's a lot of time. It's a lot of time, hopefully, to get healed up. So, all right, where are we at? 17 minutes. All right, cool. Let's do the head-to-head here, boys and girls. I'm on my own here tonight, so bear with me. I got to do this myself. All right. We all know what it means. Green signifies a top 10 ranking statistically, red bottom 10, and if it's black, well, you guessed it, it's somewhere in between. The Broncos are 9-2, the Commanders 3-8. And you get to the general stuff and you look at this Commanders team, they're -8 in the turnover margin, which puts them at 30th. So that means they've given the ball away 8 more times than they've taken it away. And they're also in the bottom 10 in time of possession. The Broncos are middle of the pack in both turnover margin and time of possession. And turnover margin and penalties are the 2 points of emphasis that Sean Payton and the Broncos really have tried to focus on, according to him, during the bye. So hopefully, it's turning the ball over less and taking it away more. I mean, think about this, guys. If Talanoa Hufanga, God bless him, he's been an all-pro. He's been arguably the best safety in the NFL this season. If he caught even half the number of interceptions that have hit him in the hands that he's dropped, if he caught even half of them, the Broncos would be +2 right now. Think about that. He's dropped 10 hit you in the hands interceptions. According to Eric Trickle, he says he's charted it, kept track. So interesting. But we look at these two offenses. We'll start with the Commanders. They're ranked 17th in yards, 10th in yards per play, though. Points, they're scoring 21.5. That's good for 23rd. That's bottom 10. Net rushing, though, this is their saving grace offensively, is they have been able to move the ball on the ground. Passing, though, they're bottom 10. They've been picked off 7 times, ties them for 13th. But they have terrible number of fumbles lost. So 14 total giveaways. That puts them just outside the bottom 10, but not good. And then they've allowed 27 sacks, more than double what the Broncos have relinquished. And third down, pardon me, they're not like they're not terrible. They're sure as heck not great. They're middle of the pack, but they are good in the red zone. Look at this. We'll see where the Broncos stand in week 13 in terms of red zone defense, but they're punching it in. If the possession gets inside the 20, they're turning that into a touchdown 7 times out of 10. That's a high number. That's second best in the NFL. Now we look at the Broncos, 14th in yards, 17th in yards per play. They are tied for 16th in points per game at 23.4. Even without JK for a game, they're still tied for 10th in rushing, so they're still a top 10 rushing offense, and that's going to be crucial, sustaining that down the stretch if this is going to be a legit playoff contender. And then net passing, Broncos are 17th. They've had 8 interceptions, 4 lost fumbles. That gives them 12 total takeaways, though, which ties them for 10th fewest. And then Bo has been sacked 12 times, 13 total sacks if you count the Cortland Sutton, trick play that never was. So 13 total sacks, second fewest in the NFL, which is where Bo Nix, by the way, that's where the Broncos finished last year, was second fewest. And then third down and red zone, they're 18th in third down, 1 spot below the Commanders, and middle of the pack in red zone, 15th. All right. So then we come down and we'll take a look at this defense. Keith, good to see you. I'm just taking a quick peek at the chat. String Guy, Damon, Kyle, we'll come back to you. Hang tight, guys. So defense, look at all that red. I mean, Dan Quinn is a defensive-minded coach, and that's been one of the big reasons. Injuries and defensive regression has been a big reason why the Commanders have already lost 8 games. So they're 31st in yards given up, 32nd in yards per play, 28th in points, given up basically 27 per game. They're 27th against the run, which is good. Broncos need a I don't want to call them soft, but favorable matchup to kind of get RJ Harvey in a groove, I think. Passing, they're 29th defense. They only have 5 interceptions, and they've only taken it away on the ground once. So 6 total takeaways. There's only one team with fewer takeaways than the Commanders so far. And then we look at sacks. They have 25. That ties them for 17th. And on third down and red zone, they're ranked 24th in both. Whereas the Broncos defense, 3rd in yards, 1st in yards per play, 3rd in points, 3rd in rushing, 6th in passing. And again, guys, respect the achievement that they are still 6th against the pass, despite being without their best cover corner and the best cornerback in the NFL for the past 3 games. Riley Moss deserves credit, along with Jaquan McMillan and Jahdae Barron and Hufanga and Jones. All those guys deserve a lot of credit. Fumble recoveries, though, this is where it's just not great. The Broncos aren't getting the takeaways. They only have 9 total, which puts them at 27th, tied. But they make up for it with the sacks, still 1st in the league with 49, 1st in third down percentage, 1st in red zone. So we're looking at the second best red zone offense going against the the best red zone defense. Unstoppable. What is it? Immovable object. No, unstoppable force meets the immovable object. That's what we're about to see on Sunday night. All right. Special teams, blah, blah, blah. Broncos are, for the most part, middle of the pack, but Marvin Mims' return last game already bumped them. They had fallen to like 12th or 13th in punt return. Now they're back into the top 10 by virtue of 1 game of Mims being back. But as you can see, they're still not doing well returning kicks or covering kickoffs. So that's got to improve. But meanwhile, you look at Commanders, this is one of the better phases of their team. 10th in punting, 1st in covering punts. They're only allowing 3.4 yards per return on punts. So that's a good example of a punter and a return coverage unit working very synergistically together, because they're getting great punting and the coverage has been excellent. But they suck on field goals. Look at that, guys. 68%, dead last in the NFL. And then penalties, surprise, surprise, your Denver Broncos ranked dead last. And opponents fourth most flags thrown on opponents. So the officials still love throwing that yellow laundry if the Broncos are on the field. But the Commanders, they have a high-ish number. They're tied for the 20th most penalties. Or actually, I guess that would be the 12th most, sorry. And then penalty opponents, you see it there. So then one last thing we'll look at here. I'll slide over, look at some stats here. So let's see. Let's go to tackles. Bobby Wagner's already over 100. Singleton would be if he hadn't had to miss that one game. But he leads the team with 89. Hufanga, 76. Jones, 65. And the reason Riley Moss fell out of the top 3 is because he had to be Patrick Surtain for 3 games. Sacks, they've got their lead guy is Armstrong with 5.5. Benito's got 9.5. Cooper, 7.5. Vaughn's got 5. That's going to be fun, right? Seeing Vaughn. Interceptions, let's see. Points scored. Let's look at receiving yards. Samuel has 470 leading them. Sutton has 649. Denver's second best receiver has more yards than their first. So that's interesting. Rushing yards, Dobbins still, man, 772 when he went down. Such a bummer. Harvey's got 244. He's going to need to, with 6 games left, he's going to need to put up like at least 400 rushing yards for this to be a plausible run game down the stretch. But and then you look at the 2 passers you got, but roughly they'd still, even combined, they'd come up short to Bo's 24-21. So there you have the look at the head-to-head. I'm going to come back to the chat here in just 1 second, guys, and see what your thoughts are, your observations on the head-to-head. But first, guys, listen up. The holidays, it's all about finding that perfect gift. This time of year, though, not every deal is actually what it seems. Scammers, they're getting more creative, tricking people into sharing their payment info through methods like fake shopping sites, beware, and giveaways that are too good to be true. Luckily, Cash App's 24/7 fraud monitoring helps detect and alert you for unusual card activity should someone gain access to your card, so that you can act fast if something seems off. You can also lock or unlock your Cash App card instantly right in the app for extra control and peace of mind. Stay one step ahead of the scams this season, guys, and keep your money secure with Cash App. And for a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real. Just download the Cash App, use our exclusive referral code SECURE10 in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply, but that's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. All right. Now let's see what you guys think here. By the way, Keith, good to see you, pal. Happy Thanksgiving to all the MHH guys and Bridge the Gap. Thanks, pal. I'll tell the dudes, and of course, Broncos country. Ronk says Ja'Cory Bill Krosky Merritt plays for the Washington Commanders and gets to play against the Broncos. Yeah, former Arizona running back. That's cool for you, right? David T, good to see you, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope it's been a good turkey day for you. Ronk says Javonte Williams closer to 1,000 rush yards. Yeah, let's see where he's at. So Javonte Williams on the season, he went into this game with 896, and then today he rushed for, this will be his first, if he gets it, 1,000-yard season. So today he rushed for 59, so he's basically at 950, just short of 950. He should get over, health willing. So happy for him, honestly. I'm happy for him. Tucson Phil, let's hope Harvey breaks 100 yards this Sunday. I mean, you guys saw that. You saw, I mean, we're talking about what was it again? Against the run, we're talking the 27th ranked rushing defense. Now, Bobby Wagner's no joke, and I thought it was apt that that was one of Luke Patterson's keys to victory in his article today, was Bo Nix has to win that chess match versus Bobby Wagner, who, of course, wears the green dot for the Commanders. But this is Harvey's opportunity to really get on the horse, so to speak. And yesterday, Sean Payton said that I'm comfortable with our running back room without J.K. Dobbins. And he said that he felt like, quote, we had limited snaps to some degree against the Chiefs, but Jaleel has played a lot of good football for us. Meanwhile, he and RJ both are coming on. And then he went on to praise how good Adam Prentice, the fullback, was in the sub protection stuff when the Chiefs were bringing pressure and blitzing. And there's a nice little cut up of him on floating around on X of Adam Prentice blowing up a Chiefs nickel blitz. That was awesome. So, hey, to each their own, David T. He says, no turkey. I air fried a steak. Good for you, pal. Good for you. Peter says, happy Thanksgiving to all American friends from Sydney. Awesome, bro. I'm thankful for my family, my health, football. I'm most happy about KC losing and being on the brink of being out of the playoffs. Yeah, man. If the playoffs started next weekend, they're out. They're well out. They're well out. I mean, it's been a pretty marked fall from grace for the Chiefs this year. But it's like I was explaining to family today at the old Thanksgiving dinner tables. It's like, hey, what do you make of the Chiefs? It's like, well, hey, it's hard to stay the best every single year, every single year. And even John Elway, he didn't make the playoffs every year. He did go through a period of coaching instability, but it's not easy to stay on top of the mountain. And the way I foresee the AFC West, we'll see what happens with Andy Reid after the season and all that stuff. But the way I see the AFC West shaping up the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years is something similar to basically what the AFC North has been for the better part of 10 years, which is, hey, some years it's going to be the Steelers division, some years the Ravens, a little injury, good fortune, and the Bengals are up there. It's going to be like that in the AFC West, I think, where you're going to see, like this year, it's the Broncos. We hope it's the Broncos every year. Don't get me wrong, but the Chiefs aren't just going to go away. Mahomes isn't about to go hang up his cleats and retire Andrew Luck style. Even though if he did, he'd end up still in the Hall of Fame with all of that he's accomplished. So it's going to be like that. And, don't forget about Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert and the Chargers, who've had some terrible injury luck this season, and they're still in it. So it's going to be like that. I think the AFC West moving forward is pick a year. So, Ricky, dear member, what's up, Chad? MHH, happy Thanksgiving. Sorry I missed the beginning. Is PS2 playing Sunday? It's not official yet, but yes, he's going to play. He's a full participant today in practice. He'll be a full participant tomorrow, which means he's going to play. So we'll have to await the official confirmation on that front from the Broncos tomorrow, but lock it in. Lock it in. PS2 is back, guys, in case you missed it early. Triple C in the house. Yes, so happy. It's weird rooting for the Cowboys, but I'll take it. Hey, anyone that's playing the Chiefs, that's who we're rooting for. Yeah, good to see you, pal. Pearl says we had barbecue and BLTs. That's cool. To each their own. I cooked a turkey, and I did it a way that I'd never done before. I like to cook. Men in my family, we like to cook. It's just something in our blood per se. I don't know what it is. My wife's a phenomenal cook, but I don't have the time nowadays to cook as much as I'd like. But on Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'll cook something. Like Thanksgiving, I'll cook a bird. And Christmas, I usually try and do a prime rib, depending on time and stuff, what we got cooking, if we're going to be away, if we're going to be home, depends. But I cooked a bird today, and I did it spatchcock style, where you take out the backbone ahead of time, flatten the bird. It's supposed to give you a more even cooking surface, and it cooks the bird faster and all that stuff. And it was okay. It wasn't my favorite way to cook a bird. I didn't use my smoker this time either. So, but it was good. And the most important thing, of course, was not the meal. It was spending time with the family and watching the Chiefs go down. Ooh, fumble. Lamar just coughed it up to the Bengals on the 2-yard line, maybe the 1. Wow. Holy smokes. Yeah, how about that, Ricky? Sentinel. Packers are our toughest home game, while KC is the toughest away game. It'll be a Christmas dream come true if we knock KC out of the playoffs this year, no doubt. shoot, dude, they could knock themselves out of the playoffs well before then. I mean, they don't have it easy. Next week they have the Texans, and then week 15, KC has the Chargers in KC. Still, that's no easy game. They could lose that one just as easy. Week 16, Chiefs have the Titans. That's a win, but it's on the road. Week 17 is the Broncos. And then their season finale, Chiefs, is against the Raiders, whereas for the Broncos, it's the Chargers, of course. So the Broncos do have a harder final six, if we're being honest. So Washington and one more matchup with the Raiders is about as easy as it gets for the Broncos. Week 14, the Broncos play the Raiders. So this week and next week, and then 15 is when it starts to stiffen up. You got to play the Packers in Denver, though. In Denver. Week 16, the Broncos play the Jags in Denver. So back-to-back home games. Then they go on the road to take on the Chiefs. Then they come back home to take on the Chargers. So I like it. I like the way it's shaping up for the Broncos. No, Rodney, they're not. Rodney wants to know if the Chiefs are officially eliminated yet. They're not. But, I mean, let me pull up see if they've updated the playoff picture. Let me stand by. All right. So does it show them at 6-6? It does. So now remember, we're now suddenly, thank you, David Youngkin, Texans will win that game against KC. I think so too. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. So here's your scratch and sniff look at the playoff picture. I'll blow it up. Bear with me, guys. As I mentioned earlier, I'm solo today. So Patriots currently have the 1 seed only because they got that extra game. They haven't had their bye yet. So then the Broncos, then the Colts at 8-3, then the Ravens at 6-5, and they're playing right now. Then the Chargers at 7-4, then the Jags at 7-4, then the 7th seed currently, if the playoffs started next week, are the Bills. Then you look at the bubble teams, and it's the Texans at 6-5, so they've got a lot to play for this week and next week. Then the Steelers at 6-5, which remember, you look at the Ravens, everybody's 6-5, you know. Well, not everybody, but the Steelers and the Ravens are both 6-5. And then the Chiefs are now the 10 seed, guys. So they are the fourth, 1, 2, 3. They're the third bubble team right now. And then the Dolphins. So yeah, that's how it's shaping up. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Oh, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. Dang it. I'm sorry, guys. So here's your scratch and sniff. Patriots 1, Broncos 2, Colts 3, Ravens 4, Chargers 5, Jags 6, Bills, and then Texans, Steelers, Chiefs. That's the bubble teams in the AFC. So Bengals still haven't been eliminated. Now that Burrow's back, they're obviously trying to make a run of things. So we'll see. He hasn't had a great performance so far tonight, but the night is young. Yeah, so there you have it. That's the playoff picture. It's kind of crazy. Ronk Daniel Jones has been playing with a fractured fibula this season. Yeah, dude, credit him. Credit that guy, man. He's turned it around and not only revamped his career, but helped turn the Colts into about as close to a juggernaut team as you can get. Yeah, so I know that's the downside to all the great cooking, Pearl, is someone's got to do the dishes. Someone's got to do the dishes, right? Is David signing off? Okay. Later, pal. Happy Thanksgiving to you. David T says, same here, Chad. I love to cook. It's the cleaning that I hate. I love to cook, man. I love to cook. I love to create. I'm a very creative person. That's why I do music. Honestly, that's why I got into this, is the creative funny bone that I have, is I just want to, even tonight, like this conversation is creative, right? Like I didn't have to get on and podcast. I did it because we're creating something out of nothing. We're creating this conversation and it's content that'll live on the internet. And that to me is exciting. Same with writing a song, performing, recording a song, same thing. And cooking is no different. It's no different for me. Maybe you have like the ingredients, they existed. But creating something out of nothing, you're taking all those ingredients, putting it together with the TLC, the preparation, the technique, right? The cooking. Then the end result hopefully turns out well. But what I've experienced yesterday and today helping my wife in the kitchen was that phenomenon that anyone who cooks a lot, or the chef's curse is, you spend so much time cooking it, by the time it's ready to eat, you just don't feel like eating it anymore. So that's the thing I struggle against on big cooking days like this. So, Phil, if the Bengals lose tonight, they're out. KC loses next week, they're out. Yeah, backs against the wall, dude. Backs against the wall. And the Ravens, they can't afford to lose this game either. As we just looked, both them and the Steelers are 6-5, and they currently own the tiebreaker. But the Bengals did not get points out of that. Holy crap! Holy crap, you guys. Yeah. So anyway, all right, guys. Before I dip on out of here, I just wanted to remind you, connect with me over on X, Chad, at Chad and Jensen. This season in particular, I've tried to be more active on X, like sharing my thoughts a lot more than I have in years past. I've always kind of just used X to kind of tweet out links to the pods or the articles. But this time around, I've tried to be a lot more engaged in sharing my actual thoughts. But I do so much writing that it's hard for me to do. Like, I write 2 or 3 stories a day. So to then go, okay, I'm going to get on Twitter and share more when I've already done like 2,500 words today. That's the hard part for me. But I do work. I have been trying to do better at X. So connect over there with me. Connect on the main account at Mile High Huddle. The podcast at MHH Pod. Also, guys, you can get a hat. You can get a T-shirt, etc. MHHmerch.com. Get your swag on. Our Instagram has absolutely blown up this season, and it's like Field of Dreams. If you build it, indeed they will come. And we kind of neglected Instagram for a long, long time, but starting this off season, I resolved it's time to really make the MHH presence felt on Instagram. So not a day goes by without us posting content, memes, reels, stuff like that. So connect over there at mile_high_huddle. If you're feeling particularly generous, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Even if you listen almost 100% of the time on YouTube, guys, take a second. Almost if you're a Android user, you probably have Spotify. If you're Apple, you have Apple Podcasts. Take a second, open it up, find Mile High Huddle Podcast, leave a 5-star. Helps us out so much, guys. Really want to encourage anybody and everybody to become a member, as you can see here at the bottom. There we go. Become a member on YouTube. We've really built it up pretty fast in the 3 months or so it's existed. So thanks to you guys for that. Seriously, we appreciate you so much. And that's just the direction things seem to be headed, guys, is membership and community. And I have our, what is it called? I'm brain farting, a Discord. I have our Discord ready to go. It's built, and I'm about to push it out there with the link, and everybody can start congregating on the Discord. But I am looking for a couple of people who might be interested in helping me be moderators on Discord. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. But we're going to be launching it coming out of this weekend. Be prepared for the Discord. And other than that, guys, love you, appreciate you. And shout out. Whoa, hold on a second before we go. We can't leave without grabbing the Lady D, throwing down a Thanksgiving super chat from the top rope. Love you, Deanna. Give my best to your family. She says, hi, Chad. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Chiefs lost. Yes. Yes, they did. We've been celebrating that for about 44 minutes now. It's been great. It's been great. But thank you so much, Lady D. I hope you've had a great day with your family, and that goes to each and every one of you. Phenomenal day, Thanksgiving. It's up there for me. What's your guys' favorite holiday? For me, it's Christmas, but Thanksgiving is definitely my second. Some people are Halloween. Some people love Easter. I'm a Christmas guy. You know, I love Christmas. There's this Christmas spirit, whatever you want to call it. But Thanksgiving's my next favorite. And one of our traditions is we will sit down as a family and watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. John Candy and all that stuff. The late great Steve Martin, phenomenal. Everybody loves that movie, I think. And then, of course, for Christmas, it's always Christmas Vacation and A Christmas Story. My wife grew up on Christmas Story. I grew up on Christmas Vacation, so we usually try and knock them both out. But either way, thank you guys. And Lady D, you're the bomb. Hope everyone's doing well. Tell David I said hey, and thank you so much for the support. Pearl, shout out to you, my dear. Shout out to everybody. String Guy, let us know how things go with that gallbladder, my brother. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. I'm seeing some Christmases. Yep, Christmas is mine as well. Lady D, yes. Pearl says the entire month of December. That's also my birthday. My birthday's in December. So I'm about 2 weeks before Christmas, which as a kid, I hated, I hated that because I don't know. It just never felt as special as my friends or my siblings or whatever, because you got to share a little bit of that specialness with the holidays. But, that's a kid perspective anyway. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you so much. Tomorrow is Friday, so Dove Valley Deep Divers. And then Saturday, I'll return with Broncos Book Club, and we'll get that rolling again. Sorry for missing it last weekend. Had some weird stuff going on, but yeah, so have a great Thanksgiving. If you're traveling at all, safe travels, guys. If you're out on the roads tonight, watch for people who've imbibed too much. That's a thing on the holidays. So safe travels, drive safe. Love you guys. Go Broncos.